Okay, so as we know, yesterday evening, afternoonish or whatever, President Trump reversed the execution of the tariffs that he said was going to go in place. All of them except for China. And so later on that evening, we got some more information about what led to this drastic decision. Outside of the fact that they was clearly scheming and skimming, there's something I want to be able to tell you about. Bonds, okay? So bonds were basically introduced in the 1960s, and essentially they are guaranteed investment funds. Think of it like this. So basically what it is that you invest in the government. So let's say you're going to invest in the government $1,000, right? Now you invest that $1,000 for a certain period of time in order for you to get the full $1,000 back. Okay, so it could be anywhere between, I do believe it's like 5 years. Some of them used to be 5 years, but it's like 10, 30 years, replace the 25 years, etc. A lot of us younger folks, they'll be in the stock market, but they won't do the bonds. But bonds were things that people used to buy a lot of, and there's different price amounts for the bonds. Now, come to find out, because of how badly the markets and stuff was doing, it was causing for the bonds' worth to fall. That's something totally different, because essentially what is failing is the investment in the actual government. So, Tori, why is this important? It's because they were saying that they were using tariffs to be able to pay on the national debt and be able to bring the national debt down, also to be able to help with the tax cuts. Well, the issue then becomes that you're creating and you're adding more to debt and also causing major instability because of the fact that these bonds are investments into the government. So now what we're saying is that these bonds really aren't worth what they're supposed to be worth, and people started cashing in their bonds. Okay, so now the government is bleeding money. The government is bleeding money. His top financial advisors and economists was like, bro, like you're tearing at the fabric of the U.S. financial system. You must stop. Because typically, whenever the stock markets are going crazy and in a haywire, people begin to invest in bonds. But because of the fact that it was the government that was causing the stock market to go crazy, people started yanking their bonds and also not investing in the stock market at the same time. So that's how they ended up forcing him to quit, because apparently he wasn't finna stop. Apparently, he was really just about to keep going. And part of the reason why you keep going is because of the short sale. And so there were a lot of people in the comments that were saying, well, everybody could have been a part of it, X, Y, and Z, but this is why everybody cannot be a part of it. Thing one, if you have a 401k, it is invested in the stock market. But the thing about those that have 401ks is that they are paid enough to have enough money left over to be able to invest in the stock market. That is typically the shrinking middle class. Thing number two, if you invest outright into the stock market, once again, at minimum, you are the middle class. And you have enough money after you pay your bills to then invest it inside of the stock market. And so otherwise, if you do not have those extra funds and things like that, yes, you may not be able to invest inside the stock market, but it also means that you cannot participate in short selling, right? So yes, could you buy like $10 and $20 and $50 like stocks? Absolutely you could, but the stock is plummeting. So you have to invest enough money to ride the rocket down in order to come back up. But typically for those that don't have a lot of money, like the wealthy, on the way down, you lose all your money. That's why mostly rich people buy the dip and can afford to then ride the rocket down and end up coming up. But long and short, America's bonds is the reason why we were safe. And when you take a look at the billionaires that lost the most money, there's only one that didn't, okay? And the reason why he didn't is because of the fact that when he saw that the stock market was going to be doing what the stock market was going to be doing, because once again, Trump announced that he was going to be having tariffs from get-go. So once Warren Buffett saw, oh, that's what's going to be going on, he started investing in Oh, and what they would call like old school qualities, like physical stuff, not technology, physical stuff. That's when you start investing in gold and bonds and things like that, because those don't decrease like that, not in this type of climate. And that's why he's the only one that made 11 point whatever billion dollars, and all these other rich people, Bezos, all these other billionaires, you know, as we already know, Elon losing money. All of them lost a lot of money. Billions of money is what they lost. Crazy.